We are making some homemade candy. This is the homemade Hard Rock candy, and we're going to make the cinnamon kind. It's going to take your breath away, so don't breathe it in when we put it. But it's some delicious candy. We're going to use a little bit of red food coloring also. And we want to set up, have everything ready before you start. You're going to make sure that you've got a trivet, steel cookie sheet or aluminum cookie sheet, and I stick a piece of parchment paper on top of it so it won't stick, and just kind of fold the edges to kind of make a pan out of the parchment paper. And we're going to use 2 cups of sugar. I have one of them measured out there. I'm going to use 2. We've got 2/3 of a cup of corn syrup, which is light KARO syrup, 1 container of the cinnamon oil from Lorann Oils, and then of course the red food coloring. So we've got water, corn syrup, sugar, and then the oil. It's not that complicated, but you're going to have to use a candy thermometer. We're going to put it all together and I'm going to show you how. I have taken a knife and just stuck it into the red food coloring just to have it there for safety reasons. We're going to put 3/4 cup of water in there. We're going to go ahead and add our corn syrup. I love this plunger thing. And we're going to add the 2 cups of sugar. 1, and there's 2. You're going to go through a lot of sugar making Christmas candy like this, especially the hard candy, because that's basically what it is sugar. Then you're going to stir it up and mix it just a little bit, but you don't want to splatter the sides. And we're not going to stir it anymore. You can see the candy thermometer, it's starting to warm up a little bit, and we're going to cook it to 300. But first of all, when it gets to 260 hardball, we're going to add the food coloring. Then it's quickly going to get to 300. We're going to remove it from the heat and add that flavoring. So it's going to take just a few minutes to get to 260, but we don't need to leave it. I have this on high. We're keeping an eye on it, and it's getting up to about 220. It's been cooking a good while. The sugar texture has changed. You can see how glassy it is. But we are looking for 260 to add the color, and we are at 240. Can y'all see how fast? It's probably only been about a minute, honestly, maybe a minute and a half. But we're at 260, and you do not have to stir this color in. You just touch it. You just touch it to the surface, and I put it on the end of that knife because it's metal, and I didn't want to have to get it in there. So I just touched it to the surface. It's going to cook its way around. Now, we're going to bring our attention back to the thermometer. We're going to cook it exactly to 300 now. And then we're going to wait for it to stop bubbling, and then we're going to add our cinnamon oil. Here we are at 300. We're turning it off and taking it off the stove. Now we're going to wait for it to stop boiling, and then we're going to add the cinnamon. Okay, it has a few bubbles in it, but they are just kind of stationary. And I'm going to go ahead and add this container of cinnamon, and do not breathe this. Do not breathe it at all. And we're going to stir that in. If you breathe any of those fumes, you're going to know it. Cinnamon is intense. And now we're going to pour it out on. You don't want to stir it a lot, just to incorporate it. We're going to pour it out on that parchment paper lined cookie sheet. I'm going to start and just go side to side. And one recipe fills up one piece of parchment paper. And then I use a silicone spatula. Whew, I just got a whiff to get that last little bit out. Do not touch this. If you get any sugar on you whatsoever, put your hands under cool water. Now, this is not sitting directly on top of my granite. In about 10 minutes, you're going to be able to lift this on the corner, and it is, can you see that? It is getting hard, and it's going to cool all the way is what we need it to do, okay? So it is cool enough now. I can put my hand underneath it. So I'm going to remove the cookie sheet and put it flat on the granite so it won't damage the granite now, because the granite disperses heat very well and it'll cool on down faster. Now, to get ready to finish this, we're going to sprinkle powdered sugar, just using a regular sifter or a strainer. And then after you get it on one side, you're going to loosen it from the bottom and flip it over, and going to put powdered sugar back on that side as well. And then you can take the metal edge of your the sifter thing or the strainer and just tap it, or you can use the back of a tablespoon and it taps right on up. And I just kind of use the edges of the parchment paper to make sure, breaking up any large pieces. And there you have it, darling. Hard rock cinnamon candy. Thank you so much. God bless you. Y'all enjoy.